My name's Kathy McDermott. I am the owner of Flying Change Stables here in Chelmsford. We've been in business teaching primarily children riding lessons for the last 23 years. We also do summer camps. We do a big fall lesson program as well, and we do a handicapped riding program called Greener Pastures. I met Monique through email. She saw our website and thought it would be a nice place to do her program, which I think you're going to see a little more of soon. Monique is a wonderful person, does life coaching, and where we do our therapeutic riding here as well as dealing with children, a lot of whom don't participate in group sports and just want something to build their own self-esteem. I thought it would be a good match.
So what we've done here is we've set up markers, 4 different markers that represent the 4 areas of my life, because we're working on coaching me today through the use of the horse as a guide. And what we've talked about previously is setting up 4 areas that are non-negotiable in regard to the goals that I have and the things that I want to work on. So the first one over here is my work in the world, which is about helping people wake up to their potential, their gifts and talents, and using them in a more meaningful way. This cone over here represents money, how important it is to be paid well for the work that I do. Step stool is health and well-being. So what's non-negotiable for me is how important it is to have a healthy body in order to be able to do the work that I do. And then the last cone represents my family, not least, although it's sort of last on our list today, but important to have the time to spend with my family.
Right. And so how does it feel to be standing in the center of everything that's non-negotiable for you?
It feels awesome, like a sort of a love circle in a way, and about the things that I really care about.
Right. And this is actually the second time that Brumby has approached you as you spoke about being here in the center.
That's true.
So maybe something about your heart space and your heart energy that has you stay focused that was very attractive to him as he walks off. So we named Brumby as being a part of a guidance for you today. How is it for your guidance to come in, connect, and then leave?
Not so great, actually. Like, as I'm talking about things that really matter most to me, if the horse is acting as a guide, how come he's leaving?
Right.
Right? Like, what's up with that? And really not even paying attention.
No, he's got his back to us.
Totally. Like being ignored.
Completely, yes. So what happens when your guidance system, your own internal guidance system goes down?
I'm kind of in trouble a little internally. Like there's a little voice in my head that's going, well, maybe I'm saying the wrong thing, or I'm not really on track.
Right.
Maybe there's something actually more important going on over there that maybe I ought to be paying attention to.
Well, he's come in twice from the family center. I'm curious if there's something about family, some support that you're looking for from family that would support you in having you meet your goals or stay centered here?
My family at the moment, from a support system standpoint, is really my husband. My kids are grown and out of the house, and mostly, and my folks also, but primarily my husband is my day-to-day support. And I feel very supported by him, and he does have strong opinions, well, about how things should look.
Okay.
And so he's watchful, which is good, because I'm not as watchful sometimes as he is.
And I'm sensing that there's a watchfulness coming from Brumby as he's sort of just hanging out here with us from the family position. Just happens to have happened that way. So if he were to guide you around a major obstacle that you have towards staying centered in this place in your life, what would you name the obstacle? We can pick that over there.
Well, I liked that one just because it, I don't know, looked a little contained and looked a little like a box. An obstacle might be representative of a box.
Right, yep.
And so, so I like that. And if I were to name that, I think for me, and maybe true for a lot of people, that I am my biggest obstacle. You know, I forget to pay attention to the things that really matter to me, or I get distracted, or I think it's not possible. You know, there's a little voice on my shoulder, like everybody else's. You know, I have lots of clients that we talk about the little voice in our heads that,
Itty bitty committee.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So can we ask Brumby to go with us over to the obstacle of
Sure.
your own, how you box yourself in?
Yeah.
And you can either ask him and take him there, or you can see if he's willing to go on his own and just follow us.
Well, let's do that because that seems
Okay.
like fun. Okay, come on. I think I have no doubt. He sort of followed us from the first moment we got here.
He is absolutely connected.
So you
And we just left him. Interesting. So why don't we...
oh, here he comes.
Here he comes.
All right, well,
And he's still hanging out by that family cone. Interesting.
I got nothing more to say about family.
So here you are boxed in.
Yes.
How does it feel to be boxed into your own corner?
Mess.
A mess?
Yeah.
Mm.
A little messy.
So just take a couple of breaths into the mess. And just look at the landscape. He's just busting through that obstacle.
He doesn't really care.
He doesn't. How would it be for you to not really care about what goes
Well,
on in
there's
your
a
mind?
part of me that I don't really care. Because although I do listen to the voices and I worry about things and I wonder if I'm living up to my biggest potential.
Yeah.
And then there's another part of me that reaches out for support and resources and gets juiced and jazzed again and then goes forward another day.
How supportive are you feeling right now?
Pretty good.
He's really connected to you. He's just hanging out.
Oh, look at his
He's-
ears are back.
He's listening. He's listening. He's hearing sounds behind him. He's aware of other people here. But he's pretty content to be with you and support you. I'm curious if there's a way that you don't allow yourself to be supported, especially when you get boxed in.
Well, that's an interesting question. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm overly supported. I don't know if that's true or not, so feel free to banter with me about it. But oh my gosh, I've got like 3 or 4 coaches that has huge support.
Okay.
And my husband is, I mean, we talk about my business and my work like all the time.
Okay. So you have a lot of support.
I feel like I do have a lot of support. Sorry, Pete.
And you allow yourself to receive it.
Well, I don't always listen. Is that the same thing? Well, here's an example. Like my husband said, I have a piece of one of my businesses that isn't doing very well financially. And one of the things I'm really committed to is money. And my husband said, really, in the very beginning, this doesn't look like it's a really good business model or that it's going to make a lot of money. And I was going, yeah, but I love this and I feel like I should do it and I'm called to do it. And he was like, well, go for it. But, you know, I don't see that it has any legs to it financially. And it's been 5 years. And today I had a conversation with my coach on the phone before coming here. And he said to me, you know, it doesn't look like that this meets your non-negotiable of money.
Right.
And I said, you know, it doesn't. And if I think about it, my husband said that like 4 years ago.
Right.
Right?
Well, there was a lesson you needed to learn.
It took a long time.
What was the lesson?
Well, my husband would say, listen to me when I talk. Well, I think the lesson was, well, sorting through what business models work and which ones don't.
Okay.
So that you know in reality what's real and not what you make up in your head.
Oh, okay. That's
You know,
a big
just because you
distinction.
think it's going to make money. You know, I have a lot of clients the same thing. Like they do certain things and they think it's going to have a certain result.
So his lick and chew is a sign of there's some coherence happening here. There's some settling
funny.
in him. He gets it, and he gets that you get it.
Well, that's good. I guess we're on the same track.
So let's experiment a little bit with your energy, because horses are very sensitive to energy, and they will respond to how you're showing up energetically. And I know often as women we can get pretty driven
Yeah.
and become very sort of mentally driven as opposed to heart driven, and take steps and actions and drive ourselves into the ground overworking. Is that familiar to you?
Slightly.
Okay. So I'd like you to lead Brumby over to the corner there.
By myself?
By yourself.
Okay.
And back.
Anything I should know?
From a driven perspective. So
Oh.
horse safety is you don't coil the rope. You hold it like this, and you can hold it right about here.
Okay.
Be grounded. Take some deep breaths.
Can you walk
And
in
just
with me,
lead
right?
him over there from where, like, I'm gonna get this done. And then turn around.
Oh, look at me all by myself.
How does that feel?
Well, now it seems like he's leading me.
Okay, so stop. Because that's something that often happens, is that we'll create a momentum, and then the momentum takes us away, and we become ungrounded.
Right, well, right. I was feeling good walking, and then he sort of took over.
Okay. So just notice that point at which you let him take over.
Right. It's when I turned.
Okay.
Towards what I care about.
Towards what you care about. Interesting.
Right.
Yeah. So take some breaths and get grounded in your body, as we did before we entered, and then be very specific about where you want to go.
Okay.
How was that? How was that different the second time?
Well, better. I mean, it felt different.
Mm-hmm. What did you notice about the feeling?
Well, I felt I was in charge, but not pulling or pushing.
Okay. And he stayed with you the second lead. The first lead, he was
he was sort of running the show,
Mm-hmm.
and this time he was, I don't know, sort of going along.
Okay. So that's one of the very subtle distinctions that a horse can teach us, is energetically to sense what it means to be in leadership, in partnership with the horse, as opposed to allowing the horse to kind of run the show and move us around. And when we get that in our bodies, we can learn that lesson viscerally and then apply it in our lives, which is one of the reasons I love this work, because it gives you non-judgmental feedback. He's not judging. He's not saying, oh, gee, I don't like the way you're leading me. He may be saying, oh, this woman doesn't know what she's doing. I can take advantage of her.
Right.
But as soon as you grounded, he showed up a little bit differently.
So wouldn't it be great to be like grounded all the time?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's even possible, towards the things you care about. Or maybe this is like the whole point, right?
Right.
And
Being grounded all the time towards the
things you really care about.
How would your life be different?
Oh. Well, there'd be no little voice, no itty-bitty committee sitting on your shoulder telling you can't or you're not good enough.
Yep.
And you just feel a quiet, deep certainty towards the things that matter.